What's going on, everyone? This is Tom with another Toy Ramble, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Target exclusive Ninja Force G.I. Joe classified series, Cobra Zartan. Boy, is that a mouthful. So, Zartan went up for pre-order on Target, I think like a month or two ago. Sold out almost immediately, came into stock last night. So I saw him and decided to... Originally, I wasn't going to get him, but Ninja Force is so weird, and it's so strange, and that's my wheelhouse when it comes to G.I. Joe, and I already have Slice and Dice, so I've got some of the other Ninja Force characters, so I figured, why not? I'm very curious about him, so he does have some box art on the side, which is pretty neat. Some really cool photography on the back. And yeah, Ninja Force. I love that it's Cobra Ninja Force. He's also part of the Dreadnoughts. I don't know no Dreadnought symbol on here because this is more Ninja Force focused. But man, when I was little, I was not big on cowboys. I didn't care about astronauts. But give me a ninja, and I was there. I was right there. Godzilla and ninjas. That was it for me. So let's, without any further ado, let's get Zartan out of his plastic prison. And Zartan is free of his plastic prison and looking like no ninja would ever look. I remember when he first came out and being fascinated by the figure back in, what, I think it was 1993? Or somewhere around there when the first Ninja Force Zartan appeared. And I remember thinking, why in the world would a ninja wear neon green and purple and have a mohawk? Unless he was the world's best ninja, and he doesn't care if you see him. So maybe that's where Zartan's coming from. But this is wild, and I honestly didn't think that we would ever see this in Classified. Although, we've been seeing Ninja Force characters kind of be sprinkled into the line. I think we've got... Jinx, I think, is part of Ninja Force. Nunchuck. I think Nunchuck is also in the line already. We've gotten Slice and Dice. So Ninja Force has been in the line. It's just they haven't made as big a deal of it as they have been with Zartan. But Zartan is worth making a big deal over because this is such a departure from what he normally was. I kind of wish that they had kept the color changing skin. I wish that had held over, but that wasn't part of the original either. So it is not a part of the current Ninja Force Zartan. But let's get a zoomed in look at some of the detailing on him because it's really great. Yeah, I make fun of the whole Ninja Force thing because it was such a weird period of time. But everyone loved ninjas. everyone still loves ninjas, I believe. And it was such a great part of the 90s, and it was just a lot of fun. So everyone got the ninja treatment. I don't know where Crazy Punk translated into ninja, but I'll accept it because everything was weird. Everything was wild at that time. So why not? What impresses me a lot, and it's been happening a lot with the G.I. Joe classified line, is that they have managed to take concepts that are, for all intents and purposes, kind of silly, and making them look really cool. Like this sculpt on this, the leather vest and the zippers, the buckle detailing is really nice. You've got your updated Dreadnought symbol right there. I don't know if that's actually the Dreadnought symbol, but it kind of looks like a more metal version of that. Detailing on the back. And even if this isn't washed or given any sort of highlighting, it's still, pretty good texturing. I don't know if the chain is supposed to be, it's a little sloppy on the paint, but yeah, all the detailing on the outfit is really good. I like the kind of the inverted shredder gauntlet that he's got going on right here. That is very neat. And I kind of wish he had two, but the original did not have two. So they're very faithful to the way that the original looked. So I give them a lot of credit for that. I do not know if there is reuse because I am not that familiar with a lot of the body parts of the other G.I. Joe figures. But these look really good. The purple and green combo in the colors. Yeah, it's impressive to me that they can take, like I said, a concept that is, for all intents and purposes, kind of silly, and turn it into a very impressive looking figure. Like, this is just by himself a good looking figure. So kudos to the G.I. Joe team. So Zartan stands at about 6 inches at the head, maybe a little closer to 6.5 with the mohawk. That looks pretty good. Also, just want to zoom in on that mohawk again because you've got just a hint of gradient going on there from the dark orange to the lighter orange up here. You know, I think the only thing that would have made this better would have been if Zartan just randomly came packaged with a dog that had like a mohawk to match his mohawk. That would have been hilarious. And they're certainly not above just tossing random animals in with some of these characters, so that would have been fun. So let's get into Zartan's accessories, and he has a decent amount of them. Just as a warning, I guess, as is the case when you're opening any figure, be careful with that tray, because I almost lost some of the throwing daggers. Sometimes things pop and then they're just fodder for the carpet monster. So Zartan comes with a pair of throwing daggers. These are the ones that almost took flight. He's got a couple of cool looking swords. Man, I'm really liking the detailing they've got going on there. I do not remember the name of this weapon, but it looks painful. He has his arrows and his quiver, as well as a pair of sheaths for his swords to go on his back. He also has a high-powered crossbow, which looks very neat. He also comes with, I didn't realize what this was at first, so you have the regular crossbow with the arrow taut this way, but then you can also pull this piece out and replace it with this, which is a preloaded arrow. And that is very cool. I like that. I wasn't sure what this was at first. I was like, is this a tent pole? What is happening? I like that the swords are a decent size, but they're not like a full-on broadsword or a katana blade. They're kind of just right. He's got a place to hold on to his throwing knives on the side of his leg here. There does not appear to be a place to store this weapon, so he'll just have to hold that in his hand. But let's get him holding his crossbow. I don't remember offhand if the original Zartan used a crossbow. I don't think he did. I could be mistaken. So Zartan with the crossbow loaded, and you put in that extra piece that looks like he's actually pulling it in preparation to fire, looks really good. It really makes me want to give a lot of credit to the articulation that they've added into this figure, because there's no extra stress on the figure, there's no extra stress on the bow. He's just posed with it ready to go. Good job. Yeah, I always knew that Zartan was dangerous, but I was never sure exactly what his skill set was as far as like the fighting arena. The idea that he may in fact also have ninja training actually works pretty well for me. Yeah, I know the whole Master of Disguise thing he's got going on, but if you actually cornered him and he had to fight you hand to hand, would he be a ninja? I mean, maybe. I guess that makes sense. I don't recall him having that many physical fights in the show. If he did, I don't remember, because I didn't watch a whole lot of episodes, and I don't recall offhand. You know, I used to always kind of wonder where Zartan would be placed at this point. If he's in Ninja Force now, is he still hanging out with the Dreadnoks? Or did he abandon them for his new buddies, Slice and Dice, and the rest of the Ninja Force Cobra guys? Yeah, I kind of wonder. Yeah, let's get into Zartan's articulation. We'll start with the head, with that big old mohawk, which is not articulated because it's hair. He's got movement at the neck. It's on a ball socket, so he's got some pretty good movement there. You can pivot him via mohawk. He's got a two-piece neck construction, just like most of the classified, so that is also adding to his ability to look around. Full swivel at the shoulder, as well as a joint at the upper arm, so you've got a swivel there. You've got double elbows. I like his studded spike gauntlet there. That's pretty neat. He has rotation at the wrist. He does not come with extra hands, so it looks like they're starting to kind of scale back on that kind of thing. Zartan has an ab crunch. It's in there. It's underneath the vest, so you're not going to get much out of it because you've got the vest restricting that, but it's in there. But he does have rotation at the waist. You can see a little bit of that exposed abdominals going on there. But he does have full rotation there. Got your drop down hips, so he can get some pretty wide angled kicks going on there. You've got a thigh cut right here. If for whatever reason you wanted to remove the sheath for the knives, they are not sculpted into the leg. It's just an accessory piece that is put on there. We've got double knees. Give you some pretty decent back and forth there. Cut at the calf, which sounds painful. You want to wake up to that. And you've got our ankle joint as well as a tilt. Now, we can't have Zartan without posing him with the gold standard of ninjas. Good old Snake Eyes. And they stack up pretty well against each other. I really like this pairing. Again, I always kind of wonder how Zartan would hold up against Snake Eyes, but maybe that's happened and I'm just not aware of it. Not gonna lie, I've also wondered how Zartan would hold up against an X-Man. Would he be able to take out Gambit? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty crafty. And of course, because he's Zartan, and this is the Ninja Force Zartan, I always like how weird he is, plus the weirdness of someone like a Crystal Ball. And would they hang out? Would Crystal Ball be hanging out with the Dreadnoks? I mean, he's got their kind of sensibilities, so I don't see why not. Lion-O, who actually shares some of Zartan's hair color, so maybe they wouldn't despise each other after all. Well, Zartan is kind of a scallywag, so maybe Lion-O would not be his friend. And just because, good old Dargon. So, at the end of the day, should you get Ninja Force Zartan? You know what, that's, I guess, a little bit more of a complex answer than I had anticipated. If this is the kind of weird thing that you're into, again, I love the weird corners of G.I. Joe, and I like all the kind of strange things that they do. So characters like Crystal Ball and the dire tech wolves and all that fun stuff, I'm going to get those because those are fun to me. The more, I don't really collect the more traditional Joes. So for me, originally I wasn't going to get Ninja Force Zartan, but then he came out and I couldn't resist because it's Ninja Force and it's so weird and it's so fun. And they've done a really good job with this figure. Like I said before, it's kind of cool seeing the Joe team and the Sculptors taking a concept that started off as kind of silly. You know, it was kind of a silly concept in the 90s, but you know, so were a lot of things. And turn it into a figure that really is pretty impressive. Like, this is a well-done figure. The detailing is really good. The paintwork is really nice. I like the way the eyes look. The only thing I wish that they had, and this is no fault of theirs because the original didn't have this, would be if his skin changed color. I think that I always wanted that to be like a mainstay with Zartan, but that's not the case for this. If this is too kind of out there for you, if this is kind of too far out in the left field, then, you know, you can skip it and it won't be a glaring hole in your collection. But if this is the kind of thing that you like, if you like the ninjas and the Ninja Force and the wild colors, this will fit right in. They did a great job with this. So I would recommend picking up Ninja Force Zartan. So have you picked up Ninja Force Zartan? And if you have, what did you think of him? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you have, please leave the video a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and until next time, take care everybody.